Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel with another Train Sim World 5 video, and this one is just to have a quick look at the patches and updates that are coming for the West Coast Main Line South. This was announced as part of the roadmap in the last week, but I've been so excited about the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle, we didn't get a chance to review this, so I'll have a quick look at the roadmap article and what it says about these patches for the West Coast Main Line South, which is at the moment a lot of you it's your favourite route, but we had one major patch, didn't we, for the West Coast Main Line South, and still, you know, there was a lot of stuff still to do in that, and they're trying to address that with this next patch. So we'll have a quick look through, whilst in the background we can see some of the screenshots from the article showing some of the work in progress things that are going on with the West Coast Main Line South. And first of all, the news is that this will be coming early December, so we've only got a couple of weeks to wait really for this, if this releases on time, which is great news. And it's been split down into sections which we'll look at, but just in summary, the overhaul will include 800 new timetable services with additional rail tours, a rework to the freight gameplay with new layers, a range of large scenery improvements which we'll look at, including tweaks to nighttime lighting, terrain and water texture updates, 710 stop markers and route-wide fixes and tweaks. And alongside this, Dovetail will be adding the Class 350 suspension physics. So, if we look at the breakdown itself, as well as those suspension physics for the 350, the timetable improvement section, as I said, has got 800 new services added. That brings the total to 2,000 plus services. Just think of that, that's a heavy timetable. Now, 990 of those are playable. Freight has been reworked fully. It's got multiple layers, unloading, shunting and correct speeds and pathing. There's also some new freight layers, because there is a new TSW5 gameplay pack for HOA, JNA, MFA and TEA wagons. A fully reworked London Overground and London Underground service. Marston Vale full services including playable ECS moves. There is an 87, Class 87 Friday charter rail tour. You'll see that in the screenshots. Now, what it doesn't say here, of course, is that you will, to get the 87, you will have to own the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle route, which is coming out on the 26th of November, so that'll release before this patch. But you will be able to use the 87 there on a rail tour, which is quite nice. Another rail tour we've got, which is in the screenshots, is for the Flying Scotsman. That is the Cheshireman rail tour, which is quite nice. Again, you'll have to own the Flying Scotsman separately if you want to be able to play that rail tour, but it's nice that it's in there. The Class 390s are going to be timed for 125 miles per hour. Brent sidings and other yard statics are going to be there now. We're going to have a static for the sleeper, which is very, very nice. And there are fixes for incorrect and missing service numbers, and portal destinations are linked. Then we move on to the scenery improvements. So, there are a lot of scenery enhancements along the route, including the distant and trackside scenery. There's updated water materials. The 710 stop markers have been added. Also added is the PIS to the platform ramps at Euston. Added static engineering works message to the concourse screen. Added disused Primrose Hill Station, which is now a starting point for the freight. Brent sidings, which are disused, they've also been added. Willesden F sidings have been added as a playable area, and this one's really nice. The Wembley arches have now got a blue glow to them, like in real life. That's quite good for all you football fans like me out there. Added rusty rail ends, fixed light sources not having TOD4 emissive values, fixed light beacon at Primrose Hill Tunnel, removed foliage overlapping the tracks. Removed excessive light sources around the original Bakerloo section to help performance, and terrain and foliage colour correcting. The tree LODs match the model colour, grass matches scenery, objects, etc, etc. So quite a number there of scenery improvements and general improvements to the scenery that have been reported mainly by the community, as I understand it. And just generally, it's in the final steps of development. It will be moving to QA testing, and then it will be assigned to builds to be ready for the release. It says around this time next month, so it says early December, so it's going to be what? It's going to be probably second week in December then, in that case. And I think, you know, as I said at the beginning, we had the major patch, which it was I called it the mega patch. We did a video on that, and I'll put a little link to it up in the top right hand corner. That addressed a lot of the early problems. Once again, it's really nice to see that Dovetail are getting stuck in and really bringing this up to scratch. You could argue it should have been like that when it released, but as we say with all these things, you know, it's playable. It's certainly playable. There's no, you know, there's no major issues. I don't think there are any major issues in this that are being fixed. It's more enhancements, if you will, and improvements to it rather than major bugs. I don't think it's got any major bugs, so it can only enhance what we've got. And you know, it's got to be a thumbs up from everybody really for this, especially if you're playing this route quite a lot. And as I said, many of you are doing that, so that'll be out early December. And I'm especially looking forward to the 87 rail tour. It's nice that if we get the DLC, the Preston to Carlisle DLC, we can immediately use the 87 elsewhere in a timetabled service without it having to be free roam. So it's got to be a good thing. And of course, it's always nice to run the Scotsman on a rail tour. So that'll be nice running between Euston and Milton Keynes as well, if you've not already done that yourself. That's it for this update video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you haven't done already, and leave me a little like. Take care, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.